All right. So, Emily, you said, let's see, topic.
Yes.
What is the panel's thoughts on men not being ready for commitment in a relationship, but telling a woman he wants her to be his girlfriend eventually? And you said, parentheses, kind of specific situation.
Yeah, so if you're seeing a guy and, you kind of ask the question, or you're like, I really like you, like, are we gonna start dating? And then they're like, yeah, I want you to be my girlfriend, eventually, but just take it slow. Like, that's obviously that I feel like they're trying to manipulate you.
I think that's immediately a no, because if they even have to question if they want to be with you in the first place, then
what if they just don't know you yet? They want to get to know you.
Okay,
take time
it's
to date
different.
them.
It's different if you get to know them
and then say that.
And then say you've been talking for a few months and they're still like, oh, I still want to wait.
Agreed.
Then it's like, yeah, no, cut it off.
That's why I say men should be careful with what they tell a woman.
Yeah.
I would never tell a man to tell a woman you want her to be your girlfriend eventually. Like, wait and see if you know her, see if y'all values align, see if y'all personalities mesh, and see if she's somebody you can see yourself with in the long run. Because at the end of the day, you need to know how this woman resolves conflict. How does she deal with conflict? And a lot of guys don't know that when you first start dating a woman. You're infatuated.
Yeah.
Your judgment is skewed, brain flooded with endorphins. So a lot of times when guys say that, what they're doing is they're trying to keep their options open. They're trying to keep their options open, but they know they're attracted to you enough to where if they don't find better, they can fall back on you.
Damn.
And it's like, yeah, no.
That's insulting.
Good times.
What do you want to be a back burner?
As another question, before you get in a relationship, is there anything, because guys they say a lot, I'm not ready. Does that actually mean they need to get ready, or is it usually just because they don't like the woman like that and they're just, using that as an excuse? Or do you actually have to, have you been wanting to get in a relationship with a woman and then stopped yourself because you knew something was wrong with you?
No. First, you should establish if that man wants a relationship. The easiest way to get in a relationship is to find a man who wants to be in a relationship. And then there are two types of guys. There's the guys who want to keep their options open, and then there's the guys who are genuinely not ready because they're not happy with where they are in life. They want to accomplish more. They want to do more in terms of they may see that they haven't fulfilled their potential, or they may feel like they can't give you what you want and what you need financially, emotionally, so they would rather not take the risk. Those guys do exist too as well. So when they figure out what they want, when they get when they're content with where they're at, then they come back.
Makes sense.
I have some further notes here. So you said, kind of related to this, men saying they aren't ready for commitment after dating you for 3 months.
Yeah, it was a specific situation.
That was a specific situation.
Yeah, happened to me.
So briefly explain, how did that play out?
Well, so I met him in person. It was never mind. I met him in person and we started dating after a week. We would go on 2 dates a week and talk not every day, every other day maybe. And then one day we were at his house and I told him how much I liked him, and I was like, are you going to start seeing other girls when we go back to school? Because semester was about to start. And he said no, that he didn't have a desire to do that, but he was like, and I know this is bullshit, he was like, I really like what we have and I don't want to tie you down, so let's just keep what we have. And I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry, I can't see you anymore because I'm gonna this is gonna make me really upset and I'm gonna resent you. So then I stopped seeing him for a week, and he hit me back up and said what I said to you guys. He was like, I really don't want to lose what we had, and I really want a chance to be in a relationship eventually when I'm ready, if that's something you're open to. And I want you as my girlfriend, but I want to take it slow. And then after 2 weeks, he changed his mind again. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the translation there is that he just wasn't that into you. I mean, you said you were dating him for 3 months, wants to keep his options open. I think if a guy's really into you and you broach the subject of commitment, exclusivity, and he's kind of like, oh, he's not that into you.
Yeah, but okay, I guess I didn't include this. When I told him I can't see you anymore, he started crying. And
what?
No, seriously, started crying. Tears were coming down.
What?
And he wasn't making any noise, but I was like, what's wrong? Why are you sad? And he was like, he was like, I don't want to express my emotions if we're not in a relationship. And I'm like, but you just said you don't want to be in one. Are you okay?
Did his lip quiver?
Yeah, he was like, but I don't want to tell you how I feel.
I feel like a lot of guys do that.
So it gave me the ick, kind of. Not to say men getting emotional is sad, but
in that stance, yeah, that's awkward.
Oh yeah, I've
awkward.
seen like quite a few times when guys like they get caught cheating, just start bumping.
Why is it
into
so
them.
long?
How long is this?
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I forgot what I was
Sydney,
saying.
you were coming in on this.
Oh no, I was just saying I've seen that like all the time. When a dude gets caught, they just immediately just start bawling.
When you feel
Yeah.
bad for them.
Yeah, after I told him I didn't want
Yeah.
to see him, he just started crying, and
Yeah, they
then
just-
so I told him to take me home
Wait.
because I was
Take me
upset. Why are you
home?
gonna cry after I tell you
Did he
I don't
cry
want to see you?
driving home?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so awkward.
What the
Wait,
fuck?
timeline here. So you were dating for 3 months.
Mhm. Over
Then
summer.
you had a conversation with him about wanting commitment. He said no. So you guys split for about a week. Get back together.
Because of him, yeah.
Get back together for a week,
For like a week.
and then did you end things or did he?
He did. He
He
texted.
did, and then he wanted to get back with you again.
No, it was only once. No, that I
When
haven't
was the
spoken-
crying? Was the crying was?
The crying was the first time.
Oh, so you took him back after he cried.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
Wow.
know. Yeah, it was.
you were dating for 3 months. He didn't want to commit to you, so you broke up, right?
Yeah, so I said, "You don't want to commit? Okay, like I can't see you." And he starts crying, and I was
Oh.
like,
Okay, so
in the moment.
in that moment,
In
it
that
wasn't just
moment.
like he was like, okay, whatever, and then a week later he's like, oh,
No.
I kind of miss her, and then
No, no.
Okay, so you were having a conversation about commitment. How did that conversation come up? Did you?
We were actually watching like one of those dating shows. I think
Oh,
it was. We like to make fun of some of the contestants because it's really
Oh,
funny.
no,
And
no,
so
no.
we were like making fun of this one girl, and then I looked at him and I was like, "Yeah, we had a really good day today because we went to the beach." And I was like, "When you start school," I started to stutter, but I was like, "When we start school, what am I supposed to do when guys, try and get my number? Like, what do you want me to reject them, or like, what are you gonna do?" And he was like, "Yeah, I like what we have, and like what I told you earlier, I don't want to tie you down." And then I was like, "Okay." And then 10 minutes of the show went by, and I was like, "This is the last time I'm going to see you." And then that's when
Whoa,
he
whoa,
started
whoa.
crying.
This is some new details, though.
I was trying to summarize it up earlier, but
This is some new details. here.
yeah.
So you were watching a show that initiated a conversation about. You said, "Well, I think you kind of went about this conversation a little wrong."
I
think.
did.
So you're watching a show with this guy. Was it? You guys had not yet had a conversation about
Not at all.
exclusivity, correct?
No, not at all.
But was there sort of an understanding to some degree? Because some people, there's not always an overt conversation about like, hey, we're exclusive. Sometimes it's just almost implied.
It's just
was
implied.
Was that the case or no?
No, I mean, I would never assume like somebody taking me to meet their friends and like stuff like that would imply that, but it seemed like he wanted something more serious by like introducing me to like all of his best friends and just
Right.
yeah,
So
it was just
verbatim,
Weird.
you said something along the lines of, hey, so when I go to what, Cal Poly or whatever?
I don't
Or,
go to Cal Poly.
You go to whatever school you go to. When I go off to college and a bunch of other guys are
I
hitting
didn't
on
say
me,
it like that.
what you want me to do?
No, I didn't say it like
What did
that.
you say? How did you say it?
See, how I'm talking right now, how I keep stuttering, that's exactly what I was doing. Like, I literally couldn't get it out. He kind of had to tell what I was asking him, and he was like, he put two and two together. Oh, so when guys talk to you, what are you gonna, it was like, it was hard for me to get it out, but I basically said, when other men talk to me, like, do I have a boyfriend, is what I was kind of asking.
Well, okay, what did you, because now that's a little different than what you said
This
before.
was so long ago, I can't remember
But you-
exactly.
You're like, what are we?
No, but because, okay, from my perspective, if I was a guy and I was hanging out with this girl that I liked, but we had not yet had a conversation about exclusivity, commitment, whatever, and then she starts telling me about how she's going off to college and she's saying, what should I do when all the dudes are hitting on me? I would feel a little bit like,
You didn't say it like that though. She said it a little differently.
It wasn't that, like,
Yeah, but-
cocky.
but he could take it instead of it being a introduction to the commitment conversation, he could be taking it from a
The opposite
perspective
way.
of like
Oh, no. I get what you're saying. That's what
I could be, you could imagine a guy being kind of upset with what you
Uh-huh.
said in a way. Like, I get you're trying to veer it towards the commitment conversation, but you could have just,
Damn.
instead of, because we don't want to know about other guys that are like hitting on you?
Mhm.
Like
But
we,
it's true. I think you have to say it. Like, what do you want me to do if like guys ask what we
well,
are?
but
like,
that should come after you have the commitment
Oh,
conversation.
what she said right now. What should I do if guys ask what you are? That's what I kind of said.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
what should I
that's
do
our
if guys
label.
ask what we
Okay.
are? That's what I'm.
That's
yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he was like, I don't want to tie you down. I like what we have. And I was like,
But his answer him saying I don't want to tie you down makes it seem as if the way he interpreted it was that you wanted
Yeah.
to see these other guys that would be approaching you in college, because he's saying I don't want to tie you down. Maybe I
I
wasn't
see what you're
there.
Yeah,
But like,
no.
do you see how he could have perhaps
Yeah.
interpreted it
like
a
he
different
assumed
way?
I just wanted to be like
He
he was
thought
doing a
you-
disservice by.
Well, he didn't know and we don't know if this is the actual case, but maybe he didn't know that you were trying to initiate the commitment conversation, and he took it like, oh, she's saying that she wants this to be open or
Yeah.
casual. Looking back on it, do you think that that's
No,
possible,
I
or-
don't, because when like after he started crying,
well, that's the other thing that makes me question,
then
because he started crying.
yeah, then after we're sitting there, and it's literally the awkwardest thing I've ever been through in my life, and he's just sitting there with tears coming down his face, and he's like, so how many relationships have you been in? And I'm like, now you want to ask me after it's been 3 months and I told you I don't want to see you anymore? Like, he just started asking me about my history, and then
how
Wait,
old was
chat.
he?
Hold on, chat. Do you think that this was a miscommunication?
Now I'm kind of seeing.
Do
it,
you
I'm
think
not
that this
gonna
was a miscommunication? Because like the fact that he said, I don't want to, what did he say? I
I
don't
don't
want
want to tie you down.
I don't want to tie you down. And then he cried when you said you wanted to end things with him. See, like, because if he was like, no, I want to keep things kind of cool, like kind of open or whatever, you date people, I date people. But for him to then go on and cry, at least makes me think that he thought you were trying to keep things open instead of actually having a commitment conversation.
You gotta
A
call
lot
him
of
tonight.
the chat is definitely saying
No,
No,
you're like, fuck
I'll
that.
never call him.
I honestly feel like if he was genuinely crying because he wanted a committed relationship with you, he should have had the balls to just say that.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
he was
like,
just
yeah.
nervous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he missed out because he was nervous.
Bro, he's like 21. Like, there's no exception.
He's a
Yeah.
femboy.
he's a what?
A femboy.
Femboy?
Yeah,
I think
He's a
the boy
femboy?
is.
Was he like an arts?
Effeminate?
Not feminine, no.
He's indecisive.
He had only been in one relationship before
That's
for
not
like
very
a
dominant.
couple months.
So probably just more immature. He just
Yeah,
just
immature
doesn't have
was the vibe I was
experience.
getting
At
more.
21.
I mean, they say men are a little bit behind in women with maturing sometimes. I don't know if that's true. I've never actually looked into studies, but they say that men.
21-year-old
Somet-
men are so young. And I'm 20.
That's why I like old men.
Babies.
Old men.
How
that's why.
old?
However old. I mean, I feel like lately I've been really into 30-year-olds. Is that old?
No.
Don't make it
not
old.
really.
Don't make it.
Some people
That's
think it's.
not
Some
Nah,
people say
we're-
it's old.
I think
That's
that's a
literally
great
not
age.
See, like you're
middle-aged.
sexy because you're 30, and I bet you're so mature, and like I bet like you're so understanding and patient because you've seen things, like you know. But like versus
Seen
like,
things.
well, you've been through more experiences
he's
than like
been
a
through a
20-year-old.
war.
He's
Like I could never date someone that's like 20.
he was there when the Constitution was being drafted.
You've seen everything.